That's another reason I was sticking around.
Do I have video or just am I going to be black? I mean, I just have a name.
Do you have a camera?
I do.
That's odd.
I know, that's what I thought too.
Is it got a slash through it or is it open?
In the participants list, there's a slash through it, but I don't know why, if your camera's on.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. Just wanted to know.
Hi, Al. I just wanted to make sure everybody can hear me.
We can.
Okay, great. I'm going to mute myself now.
Cynthia, based on what I'm seeing, if you have a camera, it appears that the issue is on your end, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, thanks.
I'm trying Craig one more time, and then we're going to start the meeting.
Cynthia, you know at the bottom where
I'm
your
looking.
camera's at?
Yeah.
There's a little arrow that points up next to it.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep. We will return your call.
Hey, Craig, it's Diana. In case you're having trouble getting on the meeting, some people have tonight. We've resent you the invitation, so check your email. Bye. Okay, with that, I'm going to call the meeting to order. This is the February 7th meeting of the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council Bylaws and Elections Committee. And I want to welcome John Barbera as a new member of the committee and call roll. So John?
I'm here.
Ron D'Angelo?
Present.
Craig Goldfarb isn't here. Cynthia?
Here.
Gwen Henry?
Present.
And Ray Regalado. So we have a quorum. And we don't have anyone, well, we have Pat in the public and Laura Jacobs. Public comment may be made on any item on the agenda when that item is being considered and before a vote is taken. If you want to make a public comment, use Zoom's raised hand option or dial 9. So our first item is to review applications for the business seat. Applications closed at midnight last night. We received one application by the deadline. It was from Ray Regalado. According to our bylaws, eligible, oops, what happened? Okay, well, eligible for this position is Craig. Hi, Craig. Eligibility for this position, someone has to be at least 18 years old and meet one of the 3 criteria. Ray actually meets 2 of them. Those 2 are the ones that own or work at a business within the boundaries of Northwest San Pedro, reside within the boundaries of that's what it doesn't mean. Reside within the boundaries of Northwest and own or work at a business that's a member of the San Pedro Chamber, or reside within the boundaries of Northwest San Pedro and own or work at a business that's located in zip codes 90731 or 90732. Ray submitted documentation that he lives within the boundaries of Northwest and is co-owner of Sirens, a business that is located in zip code 90731 and is also a member of the San Pedro Chamber. So unless there are any objections, I would find him eligible for this seat. Craig?
I haven't seen any documentation other than his application.
You need to see it?
Yeah,
Okay, let me see how I can, I thought I had it in a set so it was easy to show. Hold on. Documents. See if that's going to work. Whoops, I have to share screen. Share screen. Oh. Hmm. So how do I get it? I did this, I practiced this and I did it. Now I can't. There we go. Let's try again. Oh, I have to hit share. There we go. Okay. Now, can you see that? Have I done it right?
Sort of, it needs to be moved over a little bit more and maybe made smaller.
Well, there you can see it. Okay, so this is the filing with the Secretary of State that shows that the owners in section 8 are Yolanda Regalado and Ray Regalado.
Okay.
That's
The
part of the.
application says he's the owner. I
Says
thought,
Says they're both they're both owners.
okay, the application then is wrong.
You've just
Oh.
disappeared it.
I just disappeared it.
That's an unusual statement.
You need me to put it back up again? Ownership. You see it now?
Okay. Oh, that's a different address than the business.
It's Yolanda and Raymond Regalado. And then there's the, oh, this one, for some reason, the one that shows the Simon's business permit, it won't let me post it. I have it, but I can't post it for you because it's in an HEIC or something, so I can't, I can't open it on my computer. I can open it on my phone. So I guess you'll have to take my word for it that I've seen it. And you also are familiar, I know, with that address. And then-
Diana,
yes,
is it actually a PDF file or is that a special application file?
it's a special application file evidently,
Okay,
which is why my computer won't let me open it.
I was thinking if you knew it was a PDF, you could just change the extension and it might work, but if it's a special application, then it might not.
It was,
There is another solution. If it is on your phone, you can take a screenshot of it and send it to your email, and that will be a JPEG, and you will be able to open that. Or you could just email everybody and call it a day.
okay, how do I take a screenshot?
Usually, well, do you have an Android or do you have an
I have a
iPhone?
Mac.
Okay,
And
then
maybe, I wonder if I could just say, I mean, do
you
we
can actually
really?
say Siri. You can actually say Siri, take a screenshot, and she'll do it.
Oh, okay. Siri, take a screenshot. Okay, now what?
Now you go to your photos, and you can tap on it, and you can send it. You can share it any way you so desire. You could either send it to yourself, or you could send it to, I guess Craig is the most concerned, and Cynthia, you could email it to them.
Oh, I'm
But
gonna
as
try
soon
to,
as you do the share, you can choose the application that you want to share it to, such as, I don't know what your
I'm
what
gonna
your
send it to
email is.
myself so that I can post it for everyone.
There you go.
Okay, now. Since I'm screen sharing. No, I think I need to do something different. Say, download. I figured you'd take, I didn't think I'd have to show every document, but. Documents, save. It's not letting me. I don't know what I'm not doing right, but I'm not succeeding.
Hmm.
You are all familiar with the location of Sirens Java and T, correct?
Yes. And I know, I personally can verify they are a member of the Chamber of Commerce in San Pedro.
I
Yolanda
second that. I know that
Yolanda
too.
is on the board of the chamber. And the other document that I had was something from the Auto Club showing Ray's home address, which if you need to see that, Craig, even though he is around the corner from you, I will show that to you. If not, I'd like to move on. Craig,
Yes, you can move on.
thank you. Okay, so with that, can we say that Ray meets the qualifications,
Yes,
the objections?
No.
Okay, with no objections, then I would find Craig to be eligible for this seat. And as we discussed at our last meeting, we asked Christina to post his name, photo, and statement on our website, and she did that. So the next item on the agenda is to finalize the proposed changes to the bylaws and standing rules.
I want to acknowledge Braun's hard work on this.
Oh,
Yours,
yes,
Diana.
he's been very helpful. You may recall that after the board approved our recommended changes to the bylaws, we received a template from Dunn that contained both required language and suggested language for amendments. For the bylaws, and that the amendments are due April 1st. So last meeting, we went through most of the suggested changes. Braun, are you trying to say something? Because you're muted. Oh,
I'm
okay.
not. As indicated, I have 2 children in the room and no
Yeah.
spouse to help me, so I'm yelling at them.
Oh, okay. So I sent members of the committee a copy of the changes that we discussed to date, and I also posted them in the agenda packet. As someone suggested, I color coded the changes, yellow for the changes that were previously approved by our board, turquoise for the mandatory language from Dunn, and green for areas that seem to be significant non-mandatory changes, but were based on Dunn's suggestions. The rest of them were more technical changes. Sometimes it was just that their language was better than our original language, or small corrections. This document was also included in the December agenda packet so that board members would have plenty of time to review it. Since I distributed the packet to you, I did find that there were 2 more areas that should have been highlighted in turquoise. Those were the sections on censure and the one on removal. So my question is, did you get a chance to review it? Did anyone see any mistakes in what I had incorporated from the last meeting? I have lost the place to see the hands of. I've lost the place to see the hands of attendees. If they did-
You have no hands up right now.
Okay, thank you, Vic. If you could just watch for that, while you're here. Okay, so I didn't see any. So then I did see one mistake. I noticed that the changes to attachment B that we previously approved didn't show up in the version I sent out, so I've corrected that. That was basically to remove all references to the community stakeholder, and just because we just made them a regular stakeholder. So to summarize the main changes that we had made, We had made changes in the boundary descriptions and a new name for the area that we had previously identified as Vista del Oro. We enumerated some examples of community organizations. We, the method of verifying stakeholder status, we moved to put it into the standing rules. We added language to clarify the reconsideration section, and we changed the language around training to be sure that it included all mandatory trainings and to extend the grace period for completing the training from 45 days to 60 days, since there are now more trainings required. What we didn't do in the last meeting, however, was to review the grievance process. So I sent to the committee and put in the agenda packet the language from the municipal code regarding grievances. And then I sent a proposed replacement for Article 11, which is the one on grievances. And I can put that up. Let's see. There we go. So this draft language for Article 11, what it does is it's basically the language that Dunn recommended for grievances. However, I preceded it by the definition of grievances that came right out of the municipal code. So grievances are basically can be filed when the board violates the rules, regulations, or city code regarding neighborhood councils. Grievances can be submitted either by a stakeholder or by a board member. And so this section outlines the process for handling them either way. It envisions that Dunn will certify grievances as being in accordance with the municipal code. And then if it's submitted by a stakeholder, there'll be a review by the neighborhood council and a recommendation. If it's not submitted by a stakeholder, it's submitted by a board member, it would go directly to a regional grievance panel for review. If it's submitted by a stakeholder and the board makes a decision, the stakeholder has the ability to appeal that decision to a regional grievance panel. So that's basically the process that's outlined in here in this draft. The city has said that the process can that there then needs to be a neighborhood council specific process of how we just accept the application and the nitty gritty of it, which can either be in here or it can be in the standing rules. So my suggestion is that we put it in the standing rules, and I suggest that for two reasons. One is it gives us a little more time to develop it, and we can look and see if there's some best practices to be followed. The other reason is it's easier to change it if we implement it and we find we need some changes. It would be easier to implement it. So that's in addition to what's here, because what's here is the overall process. It doesn't say, oh, it has to be sent, you put it on this form and you send it in this way. That's the specific process. It still has to be developed. So are there any comments on the proposed grievance language or questions about it? Are there any, do you see any hands? Craig?
Okay, I don't think it's appropriate to put a grievance process in the standing rules. It belongs in the bylaws. I know why you want to do it, but it doesn't belong there. Because it's standing rules are ones you can abrogate at any time. You just have to have a vote from the board. So if you're going to have rules like this, they have to be in the bylaws.
These rules would go in the bylaws. What you're looking at would go in the bylaws. The part
You just said standing rules.
The part that still has to be developed that would go in the standing rules would be things like you use this form and this is the person you submit that form to if you want to file the, it's more specificity of how you actually go about filing the grievance. This is the process more for reviewing it. The process that would go in the standing rules would be more a process for submitting it. And that is what the department suggested be put in standing rules and this be put in the bylaws.
What department suggested it?
Neighborhood empowerment. But they said it could be any either one. Any other comments, questions?
I would just say that I think we should go with the advisement of empowerment of done, simply because I mean, clearly what's listed there is fixed, but we do have to make sure that we fine tune the language and that for clarity, I mean, we can communicate something and not be as clear as we should be, and it would create the need to amend. So I see a lot of value in that.
You're saying you see value in keeping the more specific process, not this, but the more specific process in the standing rules.
What you have on screen currently in the put it in the bylaws, and I'm concurring with what you had just said.
Recommended.
That
Okay.
recommended, yes.
Okay, any other comments on this? Okay, what I'd like to do then would be to entertain a motion to approve the proposed bylaws as presented with the addition of this new grievance language. Would anyone like to make that motion?
I'll motion it.
Is that John? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Who's
Ron.
Ron?
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion on it? Craig?
I wasn't able to review this. I haven't had a chance. I've been having other problems to deal with. But I would like to have an opportunity to re-review it and and be able to make some comments on it. I haven't been able to do a full, and I think this is important if we're gonna, not to rush through it.
Well, I appreciate that, although you have had it since December to review. I'm
I
not
didn't have
quite sure.
the current changes that were made. I don't
The
remember getting anything in December.
And you know what happened to me? I wanted to review it a little bit longer too with some of my people.
It all went out in December. The only change
Well,
different. The only
They take a little bit longer than us in reviewing it.
the
And
only
they
thing that-
haven't come back.
the only thing that's been added then was this grievance process. That didn't go out until the other day. So that's true. Well, what does the group want to do? We are faced with a deadline of when we have to submit it. Well, actually, we have a motion on the floor to pass. So if you don't want to, if you want longer, then you'll vote no on the motion, I would say. So I think that's what we'll.
Are you asking if we have a motion to have it elongated? Are you giving us
No,
that
we have
opportunity?
we have a motion on the floor to approve. It's been moved and seconded, and that's what we're considering.
Can we still discuss this? I do have a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah,
No, I have a question.
yeah. Go ahead, Gwen.
Can we possibly have a secondary meeting in the 3 days from now, or is there an opening where everybody could possibly meet again? I believe that 3 days from now, special meeting where we make a decision, so we can have it for our board meeting.
I like that idea.
Probably not.
I move, so move.
Wait a second. She asked a question.
And we still have to vote on the motion on the floor, so just hold on.
No, well, there may be an amendment, so we need to see if there was.
So if that's an amendment, I second it.
There isn't an amendment on the floor right now.
You do have one attendee with their hand up, Pat.
Okay, well, was somebody making an amendment?
I made the amendment if that's what you're waiting on.
What is your
I amend that
amendment?
we give it a 3-day review process. We come back and have a special meeting in 3 days. Or whenever you can find an appropriate time for the meeting
That,
before the board meeting.
that's not an amendment. That's,
Well, that's, yeah, that's not an amendment. So that would be vote no if you want to do that. And then we
No,
can come back
that's
to that.
amendment would be, if I can amend the motion to read that we review this in 3
Okay.
days.
And I'll
Okay,
make a second to it.
second. Okay. Okay, Pat? Pat, you're not, turn your microphone on. Pat, your microphone's not on. Oh, I probably have to unmute you, which means I have to figure out how to. Vic, can you unmute Pat?
No, I can't because you're the host. Hover over, go to, can you go to the attendee list?
No, I can't while I'm screen sharing. That's my problem, but I'm gonna make you a co-host.
I was gonna say, make me a co-host then.
Yep, I just did. Yeah, I realized that's why I couldn't see the attendees because I'm screen sharing.
I'm here.
Okay, Pat can talk.
Yeah, I'm in her office now, so I can talk.
Well, that works too.
Go ahead.
There's no reason to delay this. It's been out here for 2 months. If you don't like it, you can either vote against it or vote for it and then speak out against it and ask for a delay when it comes to the board next week.
There's a
Don't take
motion
up
and a
everybody. Don't take everybody else's time up just because you haven't read the stuff that's been sent to you.
Okay,
There's
so
a
we
motion
have,
and a second. What do we do with that then?
we're
We're just
gonna,
gonna toss it?
no, we're gonna vote on the proposed amendment, which is to delay the review and to try to set up another meeting in 3 days. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what the motion says. So this is a try. So all those, I'm gonna call roll on the motion, on the amendment. John Barbera,
Yes,
you're going to delay. Yes?
well, no, sorry, if
Oh.
it's for the delay, no.
No, just want to make sure I knew you. Ron?
No.
No. Craig? Craig?
Yes,
Cynthia?
Yes.
Gwen?
no,
Ray?
No.
And Diana? No. So the amendment fails. So now we're voting to approve the bylaws as presented. John?
Yes,
Ron?
Yes.
Craig?
no,
Cynthia?
No.
Gwen?
yes,
Ray?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. I will say that Cynthia and Craig, if you see things that you think should be changed between now and the board meeting, email me and I'll take a look at them and see if there's the things that you're gonna, then we can approach how to do it, how to deal with it in the board meeting. So there is always the chance to change it there. Okay, that gets us to the standing rules, and I would just like to entertain a motion to create a new standing rule number 16 and call it election documentation, and then we would move the entire documentation section from the bylaws into the standing rules.
so moved.
Gwen, was that Gwen?
Yeah.
Sue, second?
second,
John? Okay, questions, discussion? Vic, is there any other hands?
No other hands.
Okay, Seeing none, we'll vote on moving that to the standing rules. John,
Yes,
Ron,
Yes.
Craig,
No,
no? Cynthia,
No,
no? Gwen,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Diana, yes, so motion carries. Okay, anything else with regard to the bylaws or the standing rules? Seeing nothing else, I'll take, if there's any public comments on non-agenda items within the scope of this committee. Seeing none, I will thank you all for your participation tonight and congratulate Ray on being a candidate for the board. The election will be held at the board meeting Monday night. And we will forward the bylaws changes to the board for Monday night's meeting.
Thank you for that hard work on the changes, especially the obligatory ones.
Oh, I did want to say there is one other thing. There are two caveats which could cause us to come back and look at, and that is the two letters that we have sent into the department that we're waiting for answers on. One, the language on special meetings, and the other on our boundaries. So both of those could ultimately impact, and we might have to come back and make some additional amendments based on that. So,
Oh, right, the boundaries.
yeah. Okay, well, thank you all and have a good rest of the evening. And thank you, Ron, for sticking with us.
Yeah, if anybody wants to take my children, they're up for adoption.
Well, we'll let you get back to them now. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Good night.
thank you. Good night,
Night.
everyone.
Night.